So it's been in the 50s all week. My hopes are starting to get up. That spring was in fact on its way. And now the ground is covered in snow. So since winter is inevitably never ending, I figured this would be a great time to talk about one of my favorite types of fishing and one of the most essential types of fishing if you're looking to catch some bass, and that's how to fish a jig. So it depends on the type of jig you're using. I've went through in previous videos different types of jigs that came in that jack pack, so in my last video. But I'm going to focus more specifically on how to fish a flipping jig or a skipping jig. So I'm going to be looking at the Jackbaits Dock Rock here. So this again is that one that has that flat head. It comes in a couple different sizes. This is 3/8. It also comes in a half, $5.50 on jackbaits.com. And this is the kind of jig I use most frequently. It's, I think, the most versatile jig. So you can fish in a number of different ways. Really what is important about this one, what's good about this one, is that it has, like I said, that flat head. So that flat head allows you to skip underneath different kinds of structure. So whether it be docks, it be laydowns, brush piles, low-hanging trees, anything like that, you can really skip under nicely, and you really need a jig that has a flat head like that to do it. Once it's back under there, what you want to do is you kind of do that like 10 to 2 motion, so you keep your rod down, and then just slowly, you might skip it up a little bit and hop up until you get up down there, then you reel up your slack, and then the same thing, you might drag it just a little quicker. That's all depending on how the fish are biting that day, your motion. So that's something you kind of got to figure out. I typically start, like I said, with that slower, like twitching up and pulling. And then if that's not working, I might switch it up and I might just drag it along. I might pop back a little bit. That's, again, like I said, that's all dependent on the fish, what they want that day. Also really important here, so these jigs have these weed guards, and they have these strong, you need to get a jig with a strong hook on it. That's really, really important. So to make up for that, and to make sure you get a good hook set, you have to make sure you have a good choice with your rod and reel. So typically with a jig fishing, you're going to want a reel or a rod first that's at least like 7'2", 7'3". This one is 7'2", I believe. Actually, no, this is a bigger one, 7'6". So bigger is better with jig fishing, and this is medium heavy. So you want medium heavy to a heavy rod, and that's because, like I said, with that weed guard and with that strong hook, you really want to have backbone on your rod. So when you go to set that hook straight up or off to the side over your right shoulder or left shoulder, depending on which kind of retrieve you use, you want that to penetrate through that weed guard and get that hook up into the fish's mouth, so you get a good hook set. So rod choice is really important when jig fishing. Like I said, you don't really want to use like a 6'6", 6'10" rod. That's you're kind of close there. It's just not going to give you enough backbone. So you want to go with a bigger rod over 7 foot. Like I said, this is 7'6", 7'2" to 7'3" will do just fine. And then reel choice is also really important. So this is a Ardent Apex Pro reel, and the reason I like this reel for flipping or pitching a jig is because the gear ratio. So this is 7.3 to 1. So for every one rotation, that inner spool is going to turn 7.3 times. That's what that means. And so you want a little faster. So at least 7 to 1 gear ratio. So that second number really doesn't mean much, that 3 in there, but at least 7 to 1 or faster when you're throwing a jig. And that's because a lot of the time you're going to have a good bit of slack out when you get that bite. So you want to be able to retrieve that line a little faster. You want to be able to reel up, so when that fish takes off with your jig, you're not taking too long to catch up. That faster gear ratio will allow you to catch up and get a good hook set, so you can get that fish and make sure you're landing more fish and get better hook sets. So again, like I said, I use this as an Ardent Apex Pro, and it's 7.3 to 1. Like I said, at least a 7 to 1 gear ratio is really important when you're choosing a reel. Line choice, also important, because you're flipping these jigs into a lot of heavy cover sometimes. Like I said, if you're throwing into brush piles, your line choice is important so you don't break off. So if you're using fluorocarbon line, I will not recommend mono for flipping, because I know some people do it, but I don't recommend it. If you're using fluorocarbon, at least 15 to 20 pound test at the very minimum. Normally 15, you're fine, unless you're flipping some really dense stuff. I never really need any more than that. Braid, so this is what I use more often for flipping, is braid, especially because I flip a lot of grass and stuff like that. This is, I don't remember exactly the side, it's at least 40, so I go at least 40 and over. I think it's might be closer to 60 pound. So braid, what I like about it doesn't stretch, so when you go with that hook set, that fish isn't gonna be pulling away on the line. There's no stretch with braid. It's stronger, it holds up a little better, and it slides through grass better. So braid, at least, like I said, at least 40 to 60, and then fluorocarbon 15 to 20. That all depends, like I said, where you're flipping, what your preference is. Sometimes I'll go with a braid to fluoro leader. Again, your choice. So the last thing then about fishing a jig that you have to pay close attention to is trailer choice. So in the previous videos, I've talked about the different ways to put a trailer on a jig. There's two ways. You can either tip it, which just means just sliding it over the trailer. So here's a Baby Hyper Freak, just sliding it, push down that weed guard and just slide it down over, and it gives a little bigger profile with more action. Or you can thread it on there, so you put it through the nose and slide it up around the bend of that hook, and it makes a little more compact of a jig. And if you notice, I picked a trailer that is fairly close to the colors of the jig. So you want to pick a jig trailer that is close to the color. Most often I fish either a variation of like a green pumpkin jig or a black and blue jig. So here's another one I have, another Jack Baits. I want to say this is called Black Magic. I don't remember for sure, sorry. But so this is like a black and blue jig with some green thrown in there. And for that I would pick a black and blue trailer. Again, it makes it more natural if you are picking a jig trailer that matches your jig. So I use black and blue versions in murky water. That's when I'm going to choose a black and blue jig. And then for clear water, less stained water, I'm going to use like a different variation of like a green pumpkin, just more natural. So that's the essentials to fishing a jig. Like I said, you need to fish a jig if you want to be a bass fisherman. It's super important, it's super effective, and it works all year long. Your retrieve is going to vary depending on the time of the year. So really cold water, you're not going to be reeling really fast. You're going to want to slow it down because the crawfish that you're imitating are slower. In the summer months, you might slow it down because they're lethargic. Spring and fall, you might speed up a little bit. It really all just, like I said, it depends on the water temperature and what the fish actually are doing. Like I said, you need to have a jig tied on. So go get yourself some jigs. I use Jack Baits jigs. I've been using them for over a year now, and I love them. I think they're awesome. And you can get them at jackbaits.com. Use the code Rundle1 and you'll get 10% off of your entire order from jackbaits.com. But like I said, just get out there. There's a bunch of different types of jigs. I can get more into other ones in other videos if you have questions. But if not, go ahead and get yourself some jigs. Get yourself a good rod and reel combo. Like I said, I use Ardent stuff. The high retrieve 7-to-1 at least to fish a jig. A long, powerful rod. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. If you are not yet, like the video and then subscribe to my channel. Go check me out on all other social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you name it, I'm probably on there. Just go search at Tim Rundle Fishing. Other than that, good luck. Hopefully you get on the water this weekend and you can test it out. I will not be. I wish I could be. But good luck to you and tight lines.